Welcome. In 2023, Jean-Claude Van Damme finally said the words the martial arts world had been waiting 3 decades to hear. Sony once offered both him and Steven Seagal $20 million each to fight live in Las Vegas. Van Damme said yes. Seagal said no. It was the third time. At 65, Van Damme is done letting the story stay half-told. This was never really about two action stars who disliked each other. It was about two completely different ideas of what it means to be a martial artist. One idea could be tested. The other was carefully protected. Van Damme started as a frail, insecure kid in Brussels. His father put him in Shotokan karate at 10 so he would have something to push against. He showed up every day for years. He added kickboxing, won a European karate title with the Belgian team, and took the Mr. Belgium bodybuilding crown. None of it was invented for a press kit. The record existed before any camera ever rolled. When he arrived in Los Angeles, he drove taxis, limos, and pizza deliveries. He cornered producers on sidewalks. He did splits on street corners until one of those moments led to Bloodsport. Audiences responded to something rare, a man who was not performing a martial artist. He was one. Seagal arrived with real Aikido credentials and powerful industry connections. His path was faster. Almost immediately he began positioning himself as the only legitimate martial artist in the room, dismissing others, including Van Damme's competitive record, as a matter of opinion. On screen the contrast was clear. Van Damme's fights were explosive, high, and obviously trained. Seagal's were fluid and controlled, beautiful when the stuntmen attacked exactly the way Aikido requires. The question of what would happen against a real, unpredictable opponent was never answered on camera. Off-camera the answers kept arriving. Jean Lebel, a legendary judo champion, put Seagal to sleep with a rear-naked choke on a film set. At a late 90s party Van Damme finally confronted him in person. Seagal left. Van Damme waited outside a nightclub for 2 hours. Seagal never came out. "If he sees me, he runs," Van Damme later said with the flat tone of someone describing a pattern, not performing anger. Van Damme's own life fell apart in public: addiction, failed marriages, declining box office. He never denied it. He said it out loud, went through treatment, and kept working. Seagal's image stayed sealed. Over time that sealed system simply contracted. Today when fans vote on who represented the real thing, Van Damme wins by overwhelming margins. Most of those voters are not martial artists. They are simply responding to the difference between a man who showed up and a man who made sure no one could ever find out. At 65 Van Damme talks about the physical cost, the addiction, the rebuilding, all of it in the same plain voice he used to report the third declined fight offer. The image is not the thing. The only version that matters is the one that can be tested. 3 times is not a matter of opinion. What do you think? Whose approach meant more? Tell us in the comments. Subscribe if you want more honest stories from the action era.